Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to TV Skywriter. I'm Pat Murray, your host. Ordinarily, I do the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper here in the USA. Right now, I'm doing TV Skywriter, introducing you to someone in Scotland named Fraser Ramsay. Welcome to the show, Fraser.
Thank you for having me. It's only been about 10 monmonths, well, slightly less, but yes, it's been good. It's finally we've got
a long time in the works.
Yes.
Now you are the founder. Well, we know each other through Blab, and then Fire Talk, and then Facebook Live. Anyway, we've been online friends for a bit.
Yes.
Throwing out a huge shout out to our friends in the Work and Focus room on Facebook. We work together on our projects and help each other out. So a huge shout out to them. Now, Fraser, we're talking about something that you have. I think this is your brainchild, right? Awake Africa Scotland?
Yeah, I would say the seed was kind of planted in 2015. I thought it seems so long ago, which it pretty much is almost. So we planted the seed after, I should say, after a performance from another choir who happened to be performing in the Edinburgh Festival in that year.
Mm-hmm.
The idea, I'll tell you how the original idea came about. I suggested to the management team of that choir, which happens to be one of the other, I suggested to them that why don't you look at auditioning Africans that live in Scotland for your show if you're coming across. The reason why, it would save you a lot of money coming over from bringing a whole choir from Africa to Scotland. Their costing, you'd make more profit. Obviously, business decision kind of thing. So I kind of floated that idea to them. I never heard anything. I was thinking, right, okay, let's do this. Let's plant a seed. Let's. I spoke to the guy Becky, who's on the team, who's the choreographer, who was part of the management team with that choir at the time, and I said, let's just do a show. So we kind of brainstormed an idea for a name, and we came up with Awake Africa Scotland. We didn't have a concept for the show at the time, so we were obviously just trying to kind of build on what we tried. We planted something, we're just watering it and going through the motions of what to do, etc., etc. Now, by doing what I was doing, we kind of think through, with being a part of Blab, and obviously the connections through that helped, and going forward, which made a big difference to taking this forward and planting the seed. We also we didn't have the concept came about end of the 2015 stroke beginning of 2016, when a former colleague of his as well came up with a concept to highlight the abuse of women in Africa and also victims of sex trafficking also around the world as well.
Right. So this was not just, you were just not trying to think of an opportunity for just a concert, but this is a very special concert in that you're trying to raise awareness.
Yeah, we had nothing at the time. It was basically create awareness through a stage show. It should be through a stage show. So that's pretty much what it's going to be, a musical style show with singing, acting, and dancing.
Is this a pre-existing stage show, or is this a stage show that you have already seen and wanted to see reenacted?
No, this is a complete brand new project, starting from scratch, starting from nothing. A complete and utter brand new show, brand new project developed. So that was the kind of, when we got the concept of the show, when we got the concept, we kind of went from there, and we kind of just slowly decided to we put the word out what we're trying to do, etc. And then I got some general logos at the time designed, and tried to brand it a little bit through the people I was connecting with on social media. It also helped, not to backtrack a little bit, it also helped with the connections that I did with the podcast. Obviously, with doing a podcast show did actually help with the connections that I built up, and obviously linking to the show, etc. going forward. which helped a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's the kind of stage where we're there. I don't know what other questions you might want to ask me before I kind of carry on.
Do you have any? Is this your first go at getting the public aware of social issues and putting on special events like concerts?
This is this type of event on a stage show. This is my first official. Yeah, this is my first try at this. I have done events in the past, but to do something this is challenging. It's exciting. It's a new concept. But yeah, it's a total new adventure. But by going forward with it, going forward in the middle of right about the middle of 2016 through one of the connections through Blab, we connected with somebody who came onto the team, and also, but coming closer to sort of July, August, I felt there's something, it wasn't right. It wasn't going in the right direction I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that God sort of answered that prayer in a sense, that he answered that sort of question by the person who did have, one of the people we did have on the team wasn't doing something really that great behind the scenes, and found out some bad news about them. So I realised it's time to take them off. But they did create some connections, and they did create the connections which are some fantastic people out there who are supporting us with what we're doing. And I met some great people, but sometimes you've got to get rid of that bad penny, because they weren't. And we got rid of that bad penny.
Yeah.
And by getting rid of that bad penny, I would say the floodgates opened for the correct people to be on this project and the team.
Now I have noticed that you have 3 co-sponsors: Edinburgh Women's Aid,
Yes.
Justice for the Silenced, and the Snowdrop Project. Can you tell us a little bit about these organizations and how they got involved?
Edinburgh Women's Aid, I approached them to basically they support women who go through abuse in Edinburgh, Scotland. So women who obviously they have a refuge in Edinburgh. So women have been involved in domestic abuse or violence. They obviously bring them in. They have places that they can stay, basically. So they also look to maybe reach out for people to supply little packages of women's products like toothpaste, toothbrush, underwear, women's essentials, basically, to support them. So they came on board, which is great. Snowdrop Project, they deal with more of helping victims of sex trafficking. Once they've kind of come out, been involved in something, they've come out, they help them along the road afterwards. So obviously working along with them, that's what they do. They're based in Sheffield in England. So I approached them. I did struggle to get a kind of African project, and because it was quite difficult for communication and contacting them. So we eventually, in time, we just recently got a contact from one of our team, Sheila Shomai, who connected with us. She set up a charity called Justice for the Silenced, and she's based in Glasgow. She's actually originally from Zimbabwe, and the reason why she set up the project, her charity, was because she was sexually abused herself, and that's the reason why that came about. So we said, let's support that as well. And it helps having her on the team also because she's a registered charity, which will help going forward, applying for like funding, etc., and things we may have to apply for, or etc. So that's the kind of obviously.
Are you actually trying to help women who are stuck in the UK, who are from Africa, or do you mean you're trying to help women in Africa?
Well, let me backtrack a little bit to how we obviously the process of the project was kind of developing to when we kind of got to the stage that we created, the team became bigger. Now what the message kind of changed. It wasn't just going to be Africa and around. It sort of went from Africa to around the world, and it went from around the world because we were connecting with. I was connecting with survivors of abuse also in America as well, and the connecting with them and hearing their stories, and it sort of went from, well, these people want to get involved. We through one connection who was on, she did sort of put in contact with people, and they came on, and eventually we had a lot of people we had to sort of sort of kind of cull the people we had, because we had to make the choice of the executive choice of who was going to be on the team because of what they were going to do. And we did that, and we got the team, and eventually some have come and gone, but I've also been looking at the right people. I was using Periscope and other just the social media platforms to look for that kind of diamond in the rough, the people who I believe who I was connecting with the right time to, who can be a valuable asset to Awake Africa Scotland. And one of the diamonds in the rough I found was when I was doing Periscope was Altavis Pelzer, and she was talking about how she was abused and how her kids were abused, and how she went through from being homeless in a year to being a certified life coach, writing 2 books and etc., and how she's turned her life around. So I was finding that diamond in the rough for people who wanted that opportunity by being involved in this, to be able to take their project and what they're doing to that next level, to that next step. And the people I have on the team who have got fantastic testimonies, fantastic stories, and how they've become from a victim to a survivor. And the passion they have is to get that message out there, to share, because without this, they would maybe not have that voice that they wanted to. It's giving these women a voice. It's giving a message, not just to have the show in Scotland, but it's to take that message. We're trying to share the message on a stage, make it as kind of, it's to almost be like you're turning up to see a show that's almost going to be like turning up to a crime scene in a sense, because it's going to be that shock factor message to the audience that we're trying to do. So it means that when they come away from the show, they're going to realize, go, wow, that was going to make an impact in their lives, that this is what happens, and this is what goes on. And by taking that, after the Scotland part, we aim is to plan to take the message to Africa or to the USA. So we'll have a Awake USA Scotland, to brand it, to take a similar message across. It may be tweaked slightly, so it adapts to more the USA side or to wherever we take it next.
So the stage show that has been developed or is being developed for Awake Africa Scotland, will it be totally reworked and put on by different actors and musicians here in the USA?
Possibly. Some of our main characters are actually from the USA, are going to be in the show. We haven't finished the script yet. In the story, we have a deadline. We are setting a deadline for goals for the end of the first week in February, and we'll set goals for February and so on. We did have a date for April, but we realised that the project has become bigger than expected. We've made some really good connections from not just in Scotland and where I am, and also with the women who are on the team we've got there's Janet and Loretta. They're on the team. Janet's part of the writing team, and Loretta's part of the music team. They've been making a lot of connections. They live in Oklahoma area, and they're setting up for fundraising ideas to selling stuff. They've been recording some songs as well. They both sing. They're really working hard and passionate to be able to bring this message of to come over here, but also just to get people to capture that vision of what women go through abuse. And I mean, Loretta's story, she wasn't abused directly herself, but her story of what happened to her mother. Her mother was beaten, abused, and kept in a cage by her stepdad, and also her stepdad shot himself after shooting her mother, and Loretta was cradling her in her arms before she died. So it's such a powerful story of what she went through that, and we've got many stories, powerful stories of what's going on through the team, but having that realism and trying to bring that to the stage is going to give it the effect of what we're trying to do in that message, and to show that this will not be tolerated. But we want to give it the platform as obviously with the tagline, the power of women through courage, is to give that women, not just women, but also men and kids, a voice to say, you don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to be scared anymore. You don't have to, I can't be frightened. we are here to help you give a voice and to speak out about what you've gone through, to even offer you help in some way or form, to chat to some of the people after the show, to connect with them, to be able to have an avenue of support to say, listen,
That's
we're here
what I
to
was
help
hoping
from.
for. Because
Yeah.
I actually had two questions. Very often, the type of woman, not the type of woman, but the women who are sometimes in real difficult situations are not allowed or able to go out to see shows. That's why I started out saying the type of woman. It's not a type of woman, it's a type of treatment that the women face. I used to work with a woman who said that her husband simply didn't allow her to have friends, didn't allow her to go out. She could go out and shop. So I'm wondering if the women you really, really wanted to reach are going to be able to see this show.
Well,
And so I'm wondering
yeah, I
if
understand.
if this show will be maybe videotaped and shown in places where women feel safe watching it.
Well, hopefully we'll obviously cross that bridge. Well, that'll be discussed with the team and how we are next as we each take each step in development of the show. We're at the stage, we're still at the kind of the script stage. We are growing, it's piecing, we communicate on a regular basis. We have the people, we've got from music side, we've got one of our writing and music team, Danny Burton, who does a lot of worship and stuff, and also has a story herself when she was raped at gunpoint. She also, she's a survivor, but she's got, she's an advocate for trying to help getting out there and watch how she survived in her story. And she's part of the music team. We've got Brent Mann. Brent Mann is he's he's not anything to do with abuse, but with a musician, with the sort of rock and support and encouragement he is to the team, which is he's a brilliant, fantastic guy. BrentMannmusic.com. I highly recommend checking his music. He's really encouraging. He is a former X Factor USA semi-finalist under Simon Cowell, so he's a complete an important role in the music side for us, and he's a total rock of encouragement. Great guy. We've got many people. Some of them are on the team but have taken a back step because of some of them with what they've been through in their lives due to abuse, because they get suffer from PTSD, etc., and certain things they're having to deal with. And
sure.
Yes, this is a challenge by being on a team, but also being able, because this is bringing things to the forefront of their mind. I mean, for example, I was saying about Loretta. Loretta couldn't come. She was on the team, but she was kind of a backdrop at the beginning because she was dealing with stuff, and then suddenly, boom, the right time came. She's now solved what she had to do. She's stepping out and she's dealing with a lot of stuff. It's coming to the surface through this, which is helping her to share what her vision, her message, her story to others, which is amazing, and how her doors have been opened for her, and how she's helping out in Keene with Janet and Altavis. One of them, Altavis, is one of our writing team as well. She has a great story. She's from being homeless, as I said, writing 2 books. She's constantly broadcasting on social media platforms and constantly sharing her message about what we're trying to do, basically. But yeah, we've got a fantastic bunch of people, a fantastic team, and we're all like a family, and we're gradually getting to know each other, which is fantastic. And I love them a bit, and they're brilliant, and I love just working with them. And I want us to all to develop. I want us to all to learn from each other. It's a new project, yes. We're all learning as we're going, and the whole point by learning as what we're doing here will hopefully help us to learn in our own stuff that we do, and promote in whatever avenue we take with our own work and our own lives as well. But it's really exciting. It's really fun. It is a serious topic. It's a challenging topic, and it's the passion is there between us. The connections are all making around about us. Anyway, sorry.
You are just an ordinary citizen. Okay, you're stepping forward to make connections, to make this awareness show. We're setting up relationships with sponsors.
Mhm.
And as just an everyday person, you are doing a lot already. And I'm wondering, what do you see in your future? Because you do have your own business, and feel free to mention it
Yeah,
if you like. But
my
I'm wondering, where do you go from here? You, Fraser Ramsay.
my daily, I suppose my daily bread and butter of what I do is I run a cleaning business. I clean homes and offices. I have clients, so I can, yeah, I clean. I've got to keep the money coming in, but also I think I'm looking into other avenues from like what I'm doing in the business side to maybe to change direction or to condense work, but maybe earn a bit more money in some way or form, if possible. Um, but with the show, who knows where it'll take us? It might take me in a completely different direction by setting up a. We all set up as a production company in some way or form, a theatre, a brand that will help develop the message that we're doing. It may take us down other messages with the team that we have, but excuse me. I think at the moment, I think what I'm doing where I am going forward in the future, I don't know, but I say at the now, where I am, I feel in a good headspace. I feel excited, I feel passionate. With the things with the podcast, with the podcast I do, the Hattrick and Ramsay Unleashed, with the project work. Yeah, I feel I'm connecting with the right people, and it's encouraging to who I'm connecting with, and I love who I'm connecting with. I love connecting these people with other people that I know who I think will benefit each other. All I'm going to do is put them in connect them and let them do the work, and take it from there. So that's what I'm going to do. And at the moment, I just take each day as it comes. I'm maybe trying to. I mean, me personally, certain things I like to try and aim for this year, but I think this is the main focus at the moment with work and this, and it's been a busy January so far. But before we know it, when we set our rough official date, which we are changing, which will probably around about October time this year.
Okay.
But
Hey,
we are
Fraser,
looking.
we only have a couple minutes. What I want you to do, because your logo, your graphics are so beautiful. I don't know who did them. Feel free to tell us. But if you could hold up the T-shirt, I think it's
We
really
have
great.
the design was Get Branded in Edinburgh, and this is obviously we are going to be doing T-shirts and hoodies, but they'll be selling them, so we'll be able to direct you later on. I'm just trying to get this up to the camera without actually. If you see that, okay.
Nice.
There we go. That's the Awake Africa Scotland T-shirt.
That's real nice. The power of women through courage. Awake Africa Scotland. Sweet. Who did that?
That was the kind of back. That was it. Hang on, do you see that as well? There's some logos in there.
Oh, your sponsors. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And who's the artist?
Sorry, the people who did this brand. This is the Get Branded did the design.
Okay. So they came up with the logo also, the graphic rather?
They designed this.
Nice.
They did.
Nice.
So but yeah, so they designed that and printed it all. So they'll be doing the printing of the T-shirts and stuff.
I'll be sure to support you by getting a shirt.
Patricia, on a side note, away from the project, because she was so keen and surprised that I showed her, was she wanted to know there's a haggis chips. There we go. Had to get them in. Because in Scotland it's coming up.
Chips.
There we go. We are coming up to.
That's the Scottish treat, yes. I suppose.
We are coming up to Robert Burns Day on the 25th of January, so which is the famous poet. So that's something you maybe want to type in Robert Burns, and you'll find out the famous day of the 25th of January, while we all eat haggis, neeps, and tatties, which is haggis, turnip, and potatoes, which is the.
Oh, okay. And Robert Burns is probably your most famous poet, I would think.
Yes, so hence the reason why we celebrate it. So, any other questions you'd like to ask me?
Well, actually, I want you to promote your business a little bit, if you don't mind. If you get, you mentioned you have a cleaning business, but tell us the name and how people can connect with you.
EdinburghDusters.com or EdinburghDusters.co.uk. I'm the company that likes to clean. I clean homes and offices in Edinburgh and around Edinburgh. If you are looking for cleaning, if you are watching this and you're from Edinburgh and you're looking for cleaning, go to edinburghdusters.com and drop us an email or pick up the phone. I've been doing this for the best part of 7-8 years now, around Edinburgh, building it up day by day, and
I thought I'd have you do that, because sometimes when people want to support the work of an individual, they will support the individual's business, not just your endeavor in Awake Africa, Scotland. You know what I mean? So, but thank you again, Fraser Ramsay, for being on the show. Again, folks, this is something that's really exciting. It's going to be a stage show in Scotland, Edinburgh, in October of this year. Awake Africa, Scotland, basically just pointing out and trying to help people who are being sexually abused and other types of domestic violence, women in particular. This might blossom into something that takes over the world and is put on in the USA and other countries. So we will see. In any case, be sure to check out awakeafricascotland.co.uk. And Fraser Ramsay, we've been online friends for at least a year, starting with Blab.
Yes, Blab.
And now with Eileen and Pam and Alfredo and Robert and other folks on Work in Focus, we get to stay in contact with each other.
And we're all planning many goals and squad goals going forward for 2017, which we'll be looking forward to. So it's all good fun. Great team, great Work in Focus team. Great to brainstorm, great help and encouragement to us all, myself and all of us, and what we're all doing, which is great fun. And it's, look forward to many more meetings going forward with the Work in Focus team. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And with that, I say good evening to you. I know that it's approaching 10:30 where you are, 10:30 at night.
Just gone 10 o'clock, 10 past, coming up for 10 past 10.
Okay, getting late.
For Scotland, obviously, the 5 hours behind you, I'm in front of you, I should say, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but thank you for having us. Thank you for having us on your Durham TV Skywriter. It's been great, privilege. Thank you.
Okay, no problem at all. Thanks a lot, Fraser. And folks, you have a great evening. Be sure to read Durham, North Carolina's online community paper, the Durham Skywriter, at durhamskywriter.com. If you'd like to be a guest on TV Skywriter, write to me on Twitter, at Durham Skywriter. With that, good evening, and I will see you next time.